A new wave of drone attacks has struck Russia. This time, the targets were chemical and petrochemical plants, deep inside Russian territory, far from the battlefront. Explosions, fires, and one central question: how far can Ukraine now strike inside Russia? Subscribe to stay informed on this war that continues to shock the world every day. The most spectacular attack occurred in the city of Orsk, in the Orenburg region, more than 1,700 kilometers from the Ukrainian front. Witnesses filmed drones diving onto a petrochemical plant, triggering a powerful explosion followed by a massive fire. Videos shared on Russian social networks show residents shouting, filming the scene, as thick black smoke rises above the city. Emergency services quickly confirmed that part of the facility, likely the ammonia storage area, had been hit. According to early analysis, this attack targeted the Orsk-Nefteorg-Syntez plant, one of the largest refineries in the region. It produces not only fuel but also chemical derivatives used in the manufacture of fertilizers and explosives. Regional sources admitted that production had been temporarily suspended, while emergency crews struggled to contain the blaze. No casualties have been officially reported, though several employees were reportedly evacuated in a hurry. Orsk is not an isolated case. In recent weeks, other chemical factories have been targeted in the Perm, Tatarstan, and Samara regions. These facilities play a crucial role in Russia's war economy, producing ammonium nitrate, urea, and compounds used in gunpowder manufacturing. According to a Reuters report, 5 Russian chemical companies supply more than 75% of the materials used by the country's explosives factories. In other words, striking these sites means directly attacking Russia's industrial and military capacity. The Russian Ministry of Defense was quick to respond, claiming to have shot down more than 20 Ukrainian drones over several regions, insisting that the situation remains under control, but not everyone is convinced. Footage shared by residents contradicts these statements, showing several impacts followed by chain explosions. A resident of Perm described it: "We heard a whistling sound, then a white light in the sky." A few seconds later, everything exploded. Ukraine has not officially claimed responsibility for these strikes, but military officials in Kyiv have anonymously confirmed they were targeted operations against Russia's military industry. Since early 2024, Ukraine has significantly improved the range of its kamikaze drones, now capable of reaching targets over 1,500 kilometers away. These operations demonstrate a major evolution in the conflict. A war once confined to border areas is now moving deep into Russian territory. For the Russian population, these attacks mark a psychological turning point. From Moscow to Yekaterinburg, air raid alerts are becoming increasingly frequent. Industrial regions, once thought to be out of danger, are now on the list of potential targets. No-fly zones have been established in several oblasts, and some plants are operating with reduced staff, fearing more strikes. On the military front, these strikes aim to weaken Russia's logistics by disrupting the production of fuel and ammunition. By hitting industrial targets, Ukraine hopes to force Moscow to spread its air defenses thin and divert resources away from the front lines. But this strategy carries risks. Each long-range attack can be used by Russia as justification to intensify its own bombardments. If you're following this war closely, subscribe to stay up to date with clear and reliable analysis. Your support allows us to continue reporting with accuracy and independence. Diplomatically, these strikes have provoked mixed reactions. The United States and the European Union, while supporting Kyiv, have expressed concern over the escalation of the conflict inside Russia. Some observers fear that the growing number of such attacks could trigger direct retaliation against Ukrainian infrastructure. Meanwhile, the Kremlin has accused the West of providing the technology that enabled these strikes, without presenting any evidence. Locally, authorities are trying to minimize the economic impact. Russian state television shows footage of workers returning to their posts, but the material damage is severe. In several regions, ammonia and fertilizer production has reportedly fallen by nearly 20%, according to independent experts. These losses weaken not only Russia's military output, but also its agricultural sector, which heavily relies on these chemicals. Behind the statistics and reports are human stories: injured workers, evacuated families, and residents forced to leave their homes temporarily. Firefighters, often the first on the scene, continue to work under extreme conditions, sometimes at the cost of their lives, facing industrial fires where every explosion could be fatal. The drone strikes on Russian chemical sites show that the war between Moscow and Kyiv has entered a new phase, a technological, deep, and unpredictable conflict where distance no longer guarantees safety. And while both nations continue their strategic confrontation, the world watches anxiously as each explosion, each fire, blurs a little more the red line that separates a regional war from a total one. If you want to truly understand the real stakes of this war, subscribe now. Every day we break down the latest military and geopolitical developments with precision and without bias.